All right, looks like we're on the air. Of course, I have to set everything up here. Let me get this set up real quick. All right, looks like we're on the air. Of course. All righty then. Okay, I think I got everything set up. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host or the gatekeeper of this program, known here on social media, wherever you may find me. I am known as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snuff Number 7. I am your soul brother, number 1. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Mims, you're in the house already. What's going on? What's going on, Mims of Destruction? I would like to send greetings to Mims, those in the chat room, those who are listening now, and those who will be listening later. I thank you. It is always an honor that you would come to this house and allow me to speak to you, because I know that your time is precious. You could be doing other things, and I'm pretty sure there are probably other people that's smarter than me. How you doing there, Maz? Thank you for being in the house, and thank you. Yeah, you're my brother from another mother. Yes, that's right. That's right. We can do this if we want. We can do this if we want. And we're going to have a nice little talk, and we're not going to, hopefully, we don't want to disrespect nobody, and we don't want to commit hate speech. We just want to talk and try to be open and honest with each other. And hopefully, in talking, this type of talking, opening up this type of conversation, maybe before the situation gets really, I mean, it's out of hand anyway. Y'all know the situation, this race thing, whatever, not only in America, but around the earth. People, if it's not race, it's religion. If it's something else, you know, it's always going to be something. We have to, as human beings, we're going to have to get over our differences. We always seem to find these differences, and we go to war and fight over because we want somebody to be like us. That's not how the world works. It's never going to happen. Our planet is diverse. You have a tree. There are many kinds of trees. You have grass. There are many kinds of grass. You're not going to make everybody like you. And look, let me tell you something. It would be very, very boring. I don't want everybody like me. It would be a very, very boring place if everybody looked, talked, and acted and thought like me. What's the sense of making a YouTube video? Everybody think the same. What's the sense of buying clothes? We all wearing the same thing. Who want to live in a world like that? All the dogs look the same. All the rabbits look the same. It's wonderful how this planet is diverse. It is a wonderful thing to be diverse. It's wonderful to have different kinds of thought. This is why we live the way that we do, because somebody had to think outside of the normal train of thought. Come on, y'all. But now we have gotten to the point where we hate each other for being different. I don't like your nose. I don't like your skin color. I don't like the fact that you're a woman. I don't like the fact that you're a homosexual, and the list goes on and on and on. Madness and insanity. We should want diversity. Now, of course, sometimes diversity ain't good. Sometimes being different, instead of being a helper to society or a helper to life, sometimes being different causes death and destruction and the hatred, things of this nature. So we need to find balance in what is right and what is wrong, and we know what it is. The thing about it is we just don't want to do it. It seems as though, to me, it seems like we enjoy conflict. We enjoy confrontation. We enjoy violence. And perhaps after all these years, that's what we've been experiencing for a long time. Not only in America, but throughout human history, nothing but violence, rape, murder, thievery, lying, and all this all over. This is why many people in religion, they embrace the God concept, because this God, they know they can't do nothing about it. So they are hoping that a God, somebody from the outside, could come around and straighten this thing up. But then at the same time, they say they are children of God. And gods grow up. They have their Moshe. I still can't get your name right, sister. It was very nice talking to you. Yes, yes, ma'am. I love talking to you. I'm glad to see you here. And wow, yeah, it's nice. I just wanted to talk to us because my Memorial Day will be very short. My ocean, right? Okay. My weekend is going to be short, so I decided let me go ahead and say a little something because I'm done. I'm done. So my ocean, yes, yes. Okay, so let's get this party started. I don't want to hold us very long because really what I like to say, it can be pretty quick. This, of course, is the beginning of in the United States. In the United States, I don't know if they are doing this around the world, but in the United States, this is Memorial Day weekend where we are supposed to be honoring the persons who fought in the military for our freedom. As a dark-skinned person in this country, they didn't do a very good job for me, you know, for us. They might have fought freedom for those who are in power, the large population. But for those of us who are descendants of slaves born in America, we have not experienced from the military this freedom that everybody is talking about. I have not experienced it, and we've gotten some crumbs. We got certain crumbs, but overall, we have not experienced this freedom that these veterans are supposed to have died and gave their lives for. Not as a citizen in this country. We are not treated as the average citizen or the dominant citizen or the citizens, the original citizen. The original citizens of this nation, of course, were Caucasian Europeans. And during that time, my ancestors was considered and were slaves. It took a long time before they was called slaves and anybody cared anything about their freedom. Now, so this is the sad thing about it. We are given a day off, and when somebody gives their lives, look, when somebody gives their lives for your freedom or to protect your nation or whatever that soldier does, you honor them. That's what we're doing, supposed to be doing in America. But people would be barbecuing, they would be getting drunk, they would be smoking weed, they would be cheating on their wives, they would be cheating on their boyfriends, they would probably be planning to murder somebody, they would probably be planning to murder a soldier. So really, it's the honoring of the day is hypocritical, really. You're getting a day off, and the people really don't have the mentality or the spirit, as they say in religion, to take the holiday serious. These men and women died to serve your nation. And this is how you treat the holiday, by getting drunk and getting high and all kinds of other crazy stuff. How many people will be going to jail for drunk driving? How many people would be going to jail caught with illegal drugs and so forth? On the day you're supposed to be honoring somebody that gave their lives, who is serving in the armed forces that protect you and your nation. How hypocritical. Now for me, I am in celebration of Memorial Day. Not in the manner that they are doing it. I am always, matter of fact, it's not a day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't remember the soldiers, those who fought for my right and for my being able to talk to you right now. I remember Dr. King every day. I remember Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman and Gabriel Prosser and Nat Turner, and the list goes on and on. These are my veterans. These are my soldiers. And I'm not going to get drunk thinking about them. I'm not going to put reefer in my mouth thinking about them. I'm going to take that memory serious, which I don't smoke and drink anyway. But if I did, on the day of memory, like we're taking the time to remember these soldiers, for my soldier, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to get high. That day is dedicated, and I give to those who died so I can be here today. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Again, I don't want to keep us long. I just, I just want to talk just a little bit. Now, I want to begin this talk by saying this. In my area, there was a young soul brother. I think he was about 17 or 18. I think he had just turned 18. He was charged this week with threatening somebody at a school. This young soul brother. History shows us, and I knew it's just a matter of time, and chances are he won't be the first. Every time pink Caucasian people do something crazy, we got to copy. Sooner or later, we're going to copy. Because you know, whatever we see Massa do, we want to do. However, for some reason, when it comes to being constructive, anything that Caucasian people do that some people might find positive, we don't really copy that. Drinking and smoking, acting silly. We want to be a singer and dancer. Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. We want to be a singer and dancer. We want to be a congressperson. Anything they do, we want to copy. But other things, like create a state. Matter of fact, we're not creating the state. The only thing we want to do is take control of the state. We don't want to do nothing like that. But we want to do all this other crazy stuff. We want to create gangs, all types of, we want to have orgies, any type of negative things, we copy. So I know it was just a matter of time before you will begin to see soul brothers and sisters, not sisters yet, but you will begin to see soul brothers attack schools. The children, those young people will begin to copy the pinks, and you will see what you see in predominantly Caucasian schools. You're going to see our children turn around and want to do the same stuff. Always copy. But see, the thing about that also is it's not the fact that we don't want to be constructive, but in the United States of America, as anybody can really know, and they must bear witness, there are obstacles in our way. We can't get the bank loans. We have to overcome redlining and gentrification. How you say that word? We got all these different things that we have to deal with. Being discriminated against because we are dark-skinned people. All these different things. We have problems in being constructive, but there are no obstacles in our way when we act a fool. You need a gun, we give you a gun. You need some alcohol, you need some drugs. You want to have an orgy, you want some pornography? They don't have no problem when you're doing that. But when you start talking about, let us, yeah, I can't pronounce that to save my life. Regentrification. Yeah. But when you start talking about taking control of a state, when you start talking about isolation, then that's when folks start looking at you different. When I was a young person, I was a young person at one time. Yeah, I was. Can you believe that? Yeah. Despite the grade, I was a young person too at one time. And 40 years ago, 45 some years ago, when I was growing up, I lived in a whole different situation. It was a long time before I actually saw Caucasian people. I didn't see a lot of Caucasian people when I was growing up. I went to an all-black school, also brother and sister school. Matter of fact, when I was growing up, I don't think the word soul people was, they didn't use that yet. I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember. But when I was growing up, soul brothers and sisters had a whole different mindset because we were segregated. We wasn't part of the general population. So we was doing things different and we had a different mindset. And when I was growing up, people was more neighborly. When I was growing up as a child, all the adults basically looked after you. They watch you. Most adults, even the drunk, if you was doing something crazy, the guy could be drunk out of his mind. Hey, boy, ain't you such and such son? I'm gonna go tell. You know, adults was watching over the children. I didn't have to, when I was growing up, I didn't have to worry about, and I didn't worry about pedophiles and all this other stuff that many children have to deal with today. I'm pretty sure all those things went on. Incest, I'm pretty sure that went on when I was growing up. I didn't know nothing about it, but incest and men beating up on women, that was going on. A lot of things was going on, but you really didn't hear about it, and a lot of things was kept away from children. So I didn't know about a lot of things. But overall, we looked at each other differently. You didn't have to ask nobody for nothing. When they saw that somebody didn't have something, hey, don't you need a coat? Don't you need some shoes? You know, we would help one another when I was growing up. But now, 40, 50 years later, I don't live too far from Ferguson, Missouri, where Michael Brown was shot down in the street. And you know that in Ferguson, Missouri, they had all those protests for all those nights. I am Michael Brown. I am Michael Brown. So I'm walking through Ferguson, Missouri, and I'm saying, hello, how you doing? And especially among the younger people, they look at you like you crazy. They act like, what you looking at me for? I didn't say nothing to you. Wow. Didn't y'all just, I don't understand it. Didn't y'all just riot over this senseless shooting? But y'all don't have no love for each other? What was the uproar for? You really didn't have no love for Mike Brown? What was the reason? What was the reason for that? For this uprising? Wow. Our people have become materialistic. I got to have. I remember growing up, I didn't hear a lot of that talk. I want to win the lottery. I need some money. I want to go to college so I can get me some money. I want material things. I didn't hear a lot of that. When people was going to college, it was really for education. I want to know. I want to better myself. It wasn't so I can get a job and make $50,000, $100,000 a year. I want to know. I want an education. That's what it was about. It was about education. Now it's about, I want all this money. I want a big house. I want a Mercedes-Benz in the driveway. And a lot of our people during the time when I was growing up, they wanted education. They wanted to do themselves better so they could help our people in the community. That's what they wanted to do. They bring that education back. They bring what they learned back and try to build their community. Now I want to get the hell out of my community. The hell with them Negroes. Let me try to live in the same neighborhood with Terry Ellis. Let me live in the same neighborhood with Invo. That's what I want to do. The hell with them. I want to be rich. That's what it's all about. Material. Selfish, and we arrogant. You can't tell us nothing. I remember at one time you could really talk with us and have a decent conversation. Now we're so arrogant and know-it-alls and all this. Where is this behavior coming from? Because it definitely, when I was growing up, I know it existed, but it wasn't on this type of level. In my family, there was materialism. There were people who was materialistic, maybe that I know of, maybe about 2 or 3. But the majority of them, they were just happy living life. I'm going to say that again. See, when I was growing up, my people was basically just happy being alive. And I had a couple of uncles and some other people. They wanted to get the high-paying jobs at Ford and Chevy or whatever, so they can live this life that they see pink people do. And that's the topic that I've chosen today. This sick mentality, this influence that it seems as though, well, it's not seems as, but the Caucasian people have gotten this mentality, this materialistic mentality, and have built a world on the physical. And it is driving everybody mad because you never get enough. You don't want one car. You can only drive one car. You got 5 cars in the driveway. You can only live in one house. You got 5 houses all over the country. You trying to get one house in every state in the union. We've gone mad with material crap. We want the United States, but we want all these other pieces of land that we can call the United States. Actually, we want the whole earth. And that was the purpose of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. They wanted the whole planet, period. And in reality, that's what the United States want. In reality, many large nations, if they could do it, that's what they want. They want everybody to be like them and take over the world. Like that little rat, the brain from Pinky and the Brain. What we gonna do today, Pinky? We gonna take over the world. That's what it's all about. I want more. You never get enough. You never get enough. And then you call yourself a Christian. If you believe in that God, if you believe in Christianity, then that is what is called is greed. That is extreme greed. More than you would ever need. Well, I pass it down to you. You got more than your generations need. It's pure, unadulterated, pure deep greed. And then you want to, you want to hoard everything, and then you want to snob your nose down to everybody that don't have. You taking it all. They can't have. You greedy son of a, you want to take it all. You don't want nobody to have nothing. You know, I saw some puppies. Excuse me. I saw some puppies. And one puppy was bigger than the other because that puppy knocked all his brothers and sisters out the way so he can get the best, nipple. And then when the puppies got bigger, there was a bowl of dog food and all the puppies come running so they can eat. This dog, this puppy, now this is a puppy. This puppy took his body, put it over the bowl so all the other puppies couldn't eat nothing so he could have all the dog food to himself. This is a puppy. This is the mentality of a people that is showing that influence the world. And here you are with the mind of a puppy, supposed to be a human being, and you influence the whole world with this greedy attitude that a dog has. As a human being, you think you should be able to operate and think better. And then you give Here you are, you have $100 billion and you give away 50,000 and you thinking you're doing somebody a favor. See, I'm so charitable. You greedy son of a woo. And you don't see nothing wrong with that? Caucasian people, you don't think that there's not something wrong with that type of sickness, and you build a civilization and a world based on that? So I had a person, well, not a person. I had a young Caucasian guy. I don't know how old he is. I would guess late 20s, early 30s. He calls himself, I had him on last Sunday. He calls himself the common sense guy. And I told him what equality is. Equality is if I have a magic marker and you have one magic marker, that's equality. If you have 3 magic markers and I have 1 magic marker, that's not equal. When you have a mentality like that, you cannot comprehend a society based on equality, because your mind, you're filled with greed. You can't even comprehend a world, building a world based upon equality. You can't even comprehend it, because I gotta have mine. I work hard for mine. Mine, it's all mine. Everything is mine. You're mine. I want Terry, I want Cindy, and I want Rona. I want everything. I want every woman in the world. I heard a rap song. I want every woman in the world. He can't just have 1 or 2. I want them all. I want them all. I want all. Y'all don't see? Y'all don't see that there's something wrong with that mentality? Oh, man. Look. In the world that the Caucasian people, and I must say Caucasian people, the Europeans have influenced the earth. This is a fact. This is reality. All over the planet. If they did not conquer it, they influence it. So they did not conquer China. They tried. Believe me, they tried. But China is influenced by Europeans. India, the Arabs, anywhere, all the people are influenced by the Europeans, because they are in a very influential, powerful seat on the earth among humanity. But the problem is you have a sick mentality, because success is materialism. Success is based on what you can get, what you got. And what you get and what you got, it don't make no difference how you get it, as long as you get it at all costs. Now, sometimes certain things are supposed to be illegal, like when you sell drugs or whatever, you get rich. But see, the problem is not what you get, the problem is not what you get, what you buy with your drug money. The problem is you're not supposed to be doing drugs. But being greedy and living this materialistic life, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's why people want to sell drugs. That's why they do an illegal activity. Because if they can't do it the legal way, then I'm going to do it the wrong way. That's why I want to do it, because I want to be successful. I want to be part of the success. I want to be material just like you. I'm rich. Maybe I did not create Microsoft, but I'm rich just like you, Bill Gates. There's a problem in building a society or a civilization based on material greed, and it's done at all costs. All your wars, the majority of your wars, has nothing to do with the liberation of Jews, trying to free somebody from oppression. All of them was based on, what can I get? What you got? It's based on those things. Material, oil, and diamonds, and gold, and silver. and even human labor. I'm fighting over slaves. Not only a physical slave like my ancestors was, but when you go to work every day and do these 9 to 5, you are in a slave-like condition. Same type of thing. They pay you a little money, and you feel good because you can get some of your material crap, so you can feel successful. You don't feel like a slave because you can wear a diamond, and you can wear a pearl, and maybe you can hire somebody to clean your floor, so you don't feel like a slave. But that's what it's all about. That's what all the wars was all about. Wasn't about freedom. All these veterans sitting in these graves, you did not fight for freedom, justice, and equality. You fought for oil and diamonds and human labor and those type of things. That's what you died for. But because you are mindless, because you don't think for yourself, because a world was built so they can exploit you, there you go. And you thinking you're doing a good thing, and you're not. Everything, the society that the Caucasian European people have built is based on the physical. It's based on the physical. Has nothing to do with what some people may view as the spiritual. You see them in church and they sing their song, glory, glory, hallelujah, the Christian soldiers. That's the closest to spirituality they're going to get, is trying to sing a song in a church. But they're not interested in the Bible. They're not if they was interested in the Bible, there would be no slavery. Slavery would never have happened to begin with. That's just a front. Their civilization lifestyle is based on the physical. That's why they always naked. You can't keep, Caucasian people can't keep their clothes on. At the same time, remember, to be a civilized person means you must wear clothes. That's what they call the native people. They ain't wearing no clothes. They ain't wearing no clothes. They savages. But here you are in 2018, these Caucasian people, you more naked than anybody ever was. With the little string, you got the women running around with the string in their backside. I'm sexy. I'm just so sexy. With a string covering your butt, and you run around and you brag about your physical, show your muscles, let's get in shape. And you have all these commercials talking about building your muscles, working your biceps, let's stay in shape. The physical. You don't see them concentrating on what some may call the spiritual, the mind. That's why they are obsessed with pornography. Let me see your dang-a-lang. Let me see your poo-poo. It's all about the physical chasing physical pleasure, physical things, the material things, non-spiritual. That's why they love to get drunk. That's why you love to get high. And they influence the world, all over the world. People are drunkards, drug addicts, porn addicts. It's all in the physical. There is no education. There is no attempt to deal with the mind, because if you built up the mind, it will leave the physical. Let me say that again. If you build up the mind, it will leave the physical plane, and you're no longer interested in all these material things. And see, that's what success is, according to what the Caucasian people, this world they have built. I noticed, and I've seen a perfect example of this in my discussion with the common sense guy. And of course, I'm pretty sure, we really didn't get into it, but I'm very sure that seeking material things, he's all right with that. He's all right with that. Well, if if you work hard, you know, give me all I got. A lot of these things these people got, they did not work hard for. Ever heard of slavery? They got it because somebody else worked hard. Ever heard of the minimum wage? Somebody else is working hard so that you can live all richified. Look here. When I was talking with the common sense guy, and he's a prime example, and he's sincere, and he really thinks that there's nothing wrong with him. But look at this. And he was a prime example. If you watch that talk that I had with the common sense guy, he's an example of the average Caucasian person, because they don't think nothing is wrong with this world that they have created and how they influence humanity all over this planet. They think this is cool. This is the way it's supposed to go. Caucasian people never accept responsibility for what they do. You never hear them say, well, we was wrong. They have never apologized for slavery or nothing of evil they have done. They have never apologized to the Native American people, which they can't because they no longer exist. According to my research, there was at least 700, there was at least 700 tribes in North America here before the Caucasian Europeans came. Where are they? We can barely name 5 or 10. I know I can't barely name 5. What happened to the 700? They killed them. They either outright killed them, or disease that they put out into the environment, the disease murdered them. What they call that? Disease warfare. What's the word for that? They use the disease as a weapon. That's what they done. Give you a perfect, simple example of the mentality of Caucasian people like the common sense guy. You have a car accident. The common sense guy hit my car. Okay? Right. Now, look. So, he is responsible for the damages to my car. But the mentality of Caucasian people have, you can fix your car. That's not the issue. The problem, sir, is you hit my car. It makes no difference if I can fix my car. You hit my car. You have a responsibility for fixing my car. You caused slavery. You caused slavery. You done that. You have a responsibility to fix it. It makes no difference whether I can fix it or not. You have a responsibility to fix it. They do not want to accept responsibility for what they do. They always justify everything that I was bringing to him. He tried to justify, well, you can do this. I can, well, you know, you can do this and you can do that. What about you? You're the one that caused it. The reason why I'm complaining, the reason why I'm hurt, the reason why I am in pain is because of you. And he keep telling me, well, that was a long time ago. Probably because you didn't take responsibility to fix it. Your people did not take responsibility to fix what the damage that they caused. You're gonna put it on the victim. They don't never want to take responsibility. You are the one that tore up the car, not me. Well, that's an old car. That car don't belong to you anyway. It makes no difference. I was driving the car, and it's your responsibility to fix it. And last but not least, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to end it on this point. Y'all need to think about this. I did not say nothing hateful. I did not say nothing hateful at all, period. I'm telling you the truth. You can only bear witness. This is your mindset. This is your attitude. This is a sickness You have to look at the man in the mirror. That's why you don't like to look at and hear about what a lot of dark-skinned people say, because it's like looking at the man in the mirror and you don't want to accept the responsibility for what you done. Well, I didn't do nothing. Well, tell your government to fix it. You know who done the damage. It has to be fixed. One thing which is so sad is that a lot of Caucasian people don't want to see soul brothers and sisters get reparations because they think that the soul brothers and sisters is getting something they don't deserve. Well, see, look, when you go to court, the purpose of going to court is not to make you rich. The purpose of going to court is to make you whole. If my mother is killed, if I'm 5 years old and my mother is killed in an automobile car wreck, then I am awarded as a child. See, I'm a victim. You killed my mother. So I am awarded damages, pain and suffering, and all those different things, and the income my mother would have made if she had lived. And you get this, and it's according to who you are, you can get this in a lump sum, 40 million. Oh, you know, somebody got to take care of me. My mother probably would have sent me to college. My college education has to be taken. It's supposed to make you whole. It is not my fault that these devils in this country enslaved my people for 300 years. So you got over 300, 400 years of damage. That's not my fault. I have nothing to do with that. You need to go talk to your forefathers and the government that is in charge, which they don't want to talk about it because they already know. You the silly one. You the silly one. You don't want to accept the reality of what your people done. Now let me end this conversation on this note. Caucasian people, especially the men, especially the racist Caucasian pink male, he's childish. Silly people. I was just watching Donald Trump. Donald Trump is your leader in this country. He's going back and forth with North Korea. And just this week, he was talking about, he was responding to North Korea or whatever. And he's going to tell, now, the North Koreans can be childish. That's cool. You don't have to be childish. You don't have to be childish. But Donald Trump going to tell the leader of North Korea, yeah, you got some nuclear weapons, but America, we got the biggest and we the baddest or whatever. See, that's crazy stuff that men do. Now, I don't want to be vulgar or nasty, but let me tell you, let me give you an example of the mentality, the sick mentality of men. When I was growing up, see, but when I was growing up in the locker room as a teenager, you know, you had teenagers, they used to play the penis game. And boys would get together, my penis bigger than yours, and you know, I'm like, ooh, how sickening. But that's how childish, because I want to show you I'm a bigger man, I'm a stronger male. See, mine is bigger than yours. Donald Trump telling this man, see, mine is bigger than yours. This is what you're following. This is what, he's a leader. This is what you're following. This is your example. I would say this. See, look, you have to look at the man in the mirror. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I come from that type of background, I was taught that the white man is the devil. I was not taught to hate white people. The Nation of Islam do not teach to hate white people. In fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that He did teach that the white man is the devil, but he said, understand what you're dealing with. You cannot help it. They cannot help it. This is just the way they are. You cannot hate a dog for barking. Dogs bark. You cannot hate a cat for meow, meow. You cannot do that. It's not about hate. It's about understanding who you're dealing with. So since I know that I'm dealing with a childish person, that I know I'm dealing with somebody who will not accept responsibility for what they do, that believes success is materialistic, I have to understand who I'm dealing with. Just like you have people who understand a snake. You have people, they understand a snake so good, they can charm a snake. And dealing with a snake, if you're not careful, a snake can bite you and kill you, which that's what has been happening to dark-skinned people for the last 500 years. At the same time, if you learn how to charm that snake and learn how to deal with that snake in a survival situation, you can eat a snake to survive. It's all about your mentality and understanding of the situation that you're in. So it's not about hatred. It's about understanding the reality of what we're dealing with. I understand the mentality. The common sense guy, and just like this fellow that's in the chat room that's writing all this garbage, they have a certain mentality. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, when you're dealing with a wild animal, they have a wild animal type of mentality. Sometimes you're just gonna have to fight for yours, because that wild animal, when he sees you, they are out for blood. And you have to defend yourself. That's just the bottom line. There is no changing their mentality. The common sense guy told me, I'm trying to understand. He's not trying to understand anything. He already has his mindset, and all the things that I have described is already part of him. That's how he thinks. This is the way he was brought up. This is how he was raised from birth. This is just the way they are. It's not about hate. It's about understanding who you're dealing with. And when you understand what you're dealing with, you can walk among snakes. Now, is it a possibility that they can be different? Yes. But they are in the minority. The reason why we are in the situation that we're in, because of the majority. The common sense guy is part of the majority with this mindset that I just described. Not going to help you none. And they are the ones that are in control. They are the ones who are in power and influence the world. You have to learn how to deal with them. They are not going to change. Before he even began to talk, I already know his mindset. So, all thing I can do is say, it's sad. You know, it's sad when some animals have to kill. See, look, some animals have to kill in order to live. They have no choice. That's just how they are. They have to drink blood. They have to eat meat. It's sad, but that's just how they are. It's sad. But unfortunately, this is our reality. You're dealing with a people who have to kill. They have to drink blood in order to survive. And if you're not careful, if you don't understand them, then you will be their victim. And we have been victim going on 500 years. But that time is over. It's over. It's time that these children, it's time for these children to come out of power. It's time for real men and women to get these children out of power, because that's what they are. They're nothing but children. It's just like if you let your children in your house, let them do whatever the hell they want to. But see, it's time now that the adults rise and send these children to their room. You understand? I hope you do. With that said, I really want to keep this talk under an hour, and I have done that. But I will, if there's a question or a comment or something, I will continue to talk, really. If somebody want to come into the chat room, I put the link there. If you want to talk and say something, you can come into the talk. Myosha, you can come in the chat room. You can come into the chat room. Let me check my Facebook. Let me see if anybody in my Facebook. No, I don't expect nobody in my Facebook because I really don't advertise a whole lot there. They will come later on. Yeah. So oh, Mills, you there? I see your avatar, Mel.
Hey, Angel, what's going on, my friend?
Well, how you doing there, sir? I guess you're going to force me to go over an hour, right?
Not necessarily. We got like 9 minutes. Man. We got like 9 minutes.
I mean, it's all right, you know, because my weekend is. Myosha, why don't you come to the chat room? She want to be shy. How you doing? Mims, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. Hey, I'm existing, man. I'm existing, brother. But it's very interesting because I remember the first time I had heard about you, I started doing a little research. And I'm looking, I'm like, this man seems to be the most banned and like everybody's hating on him. So I'm like, when somebody's taking flack from all sides, I'm like, all right, so what's going on here? I have questions. They must be doing something right. So and like originally I was told, like, well, here's the thing, man. The way it was introduced, what was it? Mr. Ogre, he's like, hey, I would like you to debate a quote unquote a black supremacist. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then all of a sudden, like a day or so, he's like, well, no, he's not actually a black supremacist. He's a black nationalist, quote unquote, again. And I'm like, all right. And then you know what happened, man. You popped into the chat. We started talking a little bit. I'm like, no, this is just another dude, man. He's just another dude that has his own life experience and everything. And I'm just, I don't know, man. All I know is a lot of the folks I'll hang out with, they'll poke fun at me. They'll call me different names. And you know what? Hey, whatever. It's in folks' nature. But I mean, hey, I don't need to tell you that because I did listen to your discussion the other day, man. And it's like, okay, yeah, points were made and stuff like that. And to be fair, often I'm held in very often disagreement with a lot of the folks I hang out with. But hey, it's just, that's based upon what I've seen in life, how I kind of understand and everything. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like you said, I don't sense hatred. I don't sense venom. I sense love from this man. Do I agree with you on everything? Hell no. Freaking, I don't agree with everybody on absolutely everything. That's just life. We're all individuals, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know certain folks I hang out around with, like, they've had heated discussions with you and everything. And I think that's kind of what was at the crux the other day. Because I remember it was at least 3 times with the common sense guy. You asked him, why are you here?
Right.
And his response was, he's like, well, I want to learn. He's like, I would like to everything. And it's just, even like talking with other folks, it's like, I believe he came here to debate. And it's like, I feel like if he had said, and I've had this conversation with several other folks, I'm like, I'm going to go debate this person. I'm like, and then they'll say the word conversation. I'm like, well, is it a conversation or is it a debate? Because those are 2 different things. If it's a debate, then it's like, all right, we are planning to argue about things. Okay, that's fine. But if you're coming in to have a conversation with somebody, especially like if it's in someone's house or even if it's their channel or something like that, it's like, that's your place and everything. So it's like, maybe you should be a little respectful and everything. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And like some folks will say, well, and it's like, you know what? Hey, if we disagree, we disagree. It's like you said, man. We all have either different natures and again, like where we came from and everything. And dude, humans are complicated, man. We're freaking complicated creatures. That's the thing I've learned in my 34 years on this planet. And it's just, I don't know. I think we needed to be a bit more genuine. It's just, we disagree. I don't know. Well, that was the thing that boggled my mind. A lot of the times, like, it just seemed like you guys were getting hung up on semantics and stuff like that. I'm like, you said that it's like, well, I ain't really a big fan of like, I ain't pleading for reparations or anything like that. And then he's like, but you're like, no, but I get the folks that do. And then you just kind of argue. I'm like, you guys don't even disagree. You're just arguing to arguing. And it's just like, for me, like, I prefer to see a better path forward where it's kind of like you said, it's like the sheer fact that like there's homeless people on the streets of America like that. That fucking bothers me. It's like the richest nation on the world. It's just like, my brother brought that up the other day. He's like, because like folks feel like very often for like the disabled or like older folks and stuff like that. That's like the homeless get just, I don't know, man. It's tough, man. And I see we have a Mr. Mose who I believe there was some disagreement with. But I have spoken with Mose before, and he is a decent understanding guy. So maybe he could have a few words here, if it's all right.
Yeah. First of all, if you can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I hear you.
Excellent. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Reality. That is, in my mind, what I'm going to call you. Angel snub nubs and all that. But it's just, thank you for opening up your chat and allowing Mr. Memes in, because Mr. Memes, to me, is such a cool, laid-back, intelligent dude who I absolutely respect his opinion on everything. I'm not necessarily here to have discussion, argue, conversation. I just wanted to grab that tag of actually been on one of your live streams, sir, because I enjoy what you say. I respect what you say. I see what you say. And again, maybe we disagree on it, but at least you're openly, honestly going to have a conversation about it. And I respect that about you, sir. So thank you for having me here. I'm going to put myself back on mute. You guys actually do the intelligent stuff from now on in. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know about intelligence, man.
I don't know about all that. I think we're getting too much credit, but I'll take it though.
so sorry, could I just say you're correct when you say it is Moz, not Moose, and that's not a problem because a lot of people make that mistake. It is Moz. It's just a nickname. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
So it's Mars, right?
Mars, yes, sir.
So what's your background? You from the UK too?
Yeah, I'm England born and bred. I'm the worst of the worst in some people's eyes.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What makes you guys interested in what's going on here in the States when I know that you also have the same type of problems in the UK?
Ooh, do you want to go with that, Memes, or should I?
Well, you're living over there, man. I can only speak
man. My mind is buzzing, and my mind is a bit of a blur, as always. And that's when I'm sober. That's when I'm not sober. It's just I see the destruction of the earth, and I've said to Mr. Memes in the past that my personal problem is, for whatever craziness it sounds, is in 5 billion years the sun is going to go nova. And the earth will be destroyed. And my goal, my love, passion, and everything is that we have to leave the earth before that. We have to leave our solar system. If we don't, humanity dies. And everything you and I do here now is gone. It's gone. All your wise words, anything I've ever said, it's gone. Humanity's gone. And I don't want that. That's my goal.
You want to know something? I think about that also. The exact thing. We so concentrated on this race thing and getting material things and who's sleeping with who and all this kind of garbage, and we stay on this. Really, this conversation really is a low level type conversation. When you think about the fact, just like this, like Mars said, when you think about the fact, a few more, way before I guess a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to be around anyway. But if you want this humanity to continue to live and survive, you have to think beyond yourself. If you want your children and generations, you want this species to survive, we got to think beyond that time. So this level of mentality that we're on, we're not going to make it.
I think you've just nailed it right there on the head about 2 sentences ago when you said that if people, we live for such a short time, but if we lived every individual for 10,000 years, we'd have to think about the effect we're having on this planet and the way it's going to affect us in our future. But we're only thinking 10 years, 20 years for our grandchildren. That's wrong. That's wrong. We have to push the planet as a whole out into the universe, or humanity's going to die. That's my religion. If anyone wants to go, God this, God that, no, that's my religion. If we don't get humanity out into the universe, everything we've discovered and everything is gone. And that scares the bejesus out of me. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, because I think about those things too. But you know, in this current situation, people are obsessed, and we're bound down to these type of conversations where there's something much bigger that we really have to deal with when it's all said and done. This here is really nothing. But until we can solve this problem here, we can't even get to that. We can't even begin to rise to the level of the thinking where you and even myself, because I think about that too. Same thing that you're talking about. I'm thinking about the same type of. I'm looking at beyond myself, you know. And what's the sense of having children and they're going to be dead in 10,000 years?
Absolutely.
You're defeating the purpose. You know.
But then I would like to know your opinion of where do you think we should start? If for instance, if I said to you, or let's say magical genie, you're in charge tomorrow, how do you think we should start to build a better planet?
Well, I can't even begin. I would have to think about that. I can't just give you an answer right off the.
Well, I tell you what, if yeah, and I'm not sorry for shilling, but if you really truly get to know Mr. CSG on a Wednesday, we talk about these kind of crazy stuff where everyone's allowed their own opinions, and whether it's mad or not, but you get to react to it. You should come along on a Wednesday, throw your own opinions in there, listen to other people's opinions, and it really is, there's just no wrong. There's no wrong. It's like mentally we're trying to fix it. Well,
you know, unfortunately, I'm only available on the right now on the weekend, so I can't unless I was able to call in. That's the only way that I would be able to join a conversation during the weekday.
Well, I would suggest then that they're not people I know in real life. So let me put that out there straight away. They're not people I know in real life, but I've spoken to them online. But I could say to them that Mr. Angel Snubnubs, don't ever curse me if I get it wrong. He would like to have an open topic discussion about stuff that is not relevant to either of what we're doing. Not relevant to your channel, not relevant to our channel, but you can come in with an idea and they can go out of an idea, and we discuss topics that are separate and we can all relax and just sit down. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah. If you want to talk about why you like the laces in your trainers, they will accept that conversation, and they are absolutely, and again, this is why I'm here, they will absolutely, I've found a place to be as stupid and crazy as I like and just have sensible people talk back to me in a appropriate manner about why my idea might be wrong or right. I'm not, you know, take some time for yourself, sir.
Yeah.
Watch Mr. CSG's channel. See if you think he's bigoted. See if you don't. But just take and watch some of their streams and just look at the mental stuff that they talk about and go, well, yeah, actually, I could openly say this, and it might be a stupid idea, but I'll get honest, sensible results back from it.
It wouldn't hurt to balance certain idea points out as well. It's always good having a perspective that may be dissenting on a particular issue as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
That's where I come in. It's they kind of make the joke. It's like, oh, what am I? I'm like the token left guy or something like that. I didn't know. Hell, I've been compared to everything from freaking Hitler to I've been called the nicest communist Mr. Ogre's wife has ever met. So I guess I run a broad spectrum.
And I would honestly say I'm kind of like the Jekyll and Hyde, because when I'm on stream, if I'm talking live on a stream, I'm trying to be sensible, trying not to disrespect anyone. But when I'm in chat, I'm just like, yeah, fuck you, dick. That's sorry language. But you know what I mean?
No, but that's the thing, Moz. No, we saw that. We saw that. It's just we're having a polite, constructive conversation right now. But when we get more and more degrees of separation by like text, it's just like we're humans. And then like actually seeing a person and being in real life, just like this is one of those things. It's like, at least from my life experience, it's like I did a lot of like door-to-door sales where like I would be the guy that would knock on your door, knock, that you didn't want to see from the cable company that pissed you off. It's like, hey, we want you back and everything. And my job was to win back folks that basically had felt screwed over. I apologize for the cursing, Angel. But it's basically what they used to say is basically if you send out 1,000 flyers, maybe you'll get like 1 call back on 1 sale. You make 100 phone calls, maybe you get 1 sale. But if you talk to 10 people face to face, you have that real connection with people. And I think maybe with the internet and social media, we've kind of lost that a bit. It's kind of like you were talking about at the beginning of the conversations. Like back in the day, it's like you were talking about things that like I remember like neighbors would watch each other and stuff, and you kind of look out. It didn't even matter. Like, hey, maybe so-and-so, maybe they drank a little too much sometimes, but they would still be looking out for one each other. And I think we've lost that, man. It's not good.
I have a slight suggestion then. Obviously we're on the internet and everyone knows, but Mr. Reality, on Wednesdays, you follow Mr. CSG now, maybe, as we call him, instead of having to say the whole common sense guy business.
I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to him. I don't get a lot of, watch his live stream on a Wednesday. You can jump into chat if you want, use a pseudonym, just jump in on a Wednesday, see what he's doing, and see if you feel it's good for you. If you don't like it, I don't have no problem with the common sense guy. I don't have no problem with Olga. Nobody.
Yeah. But Wednesdays are special. Wednesdays are different. Wednesdays are kind of where everyone takes their hat off and does stupid. If that makes sense. So you know, essentially, you could take your hat off and do stupid, or you could sit in the chat, and when people are making points, you can just throw questions into chat, and these guys will honestly. I'm only sitting here now speaking to you because these guys went, Moz, you're okay. You're a regular on the channel. You're come and jump in chat. Come and have a chat. Tell us your stuff, rather than trying to type it on the keyboard. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you do. Tell it, you know. And I believe that. I don't know. There's some kind of, if we're all arguing the same point. We're all trying to open up and free the world with wherever you come from, with this Tommy Robinson stuff in my country, with the gun bans in America, and it kills me that stuff's going on. But it's just, if you have a view and an opinion, start jumping in on Wednesdays and listening to those people, and when you're comfortable. You'll just be part of chat, and it's not your show anymore, so you can troll and it's just freedom of expression. We're losing that as a planet. Freedom, the word of the voice, is being taken away from us by the elites.
We keep getting pitted against each other. It's always like, oh, well, I'm on this side, or you're on that side and stuff, and oh, we need to disagree. We just need to argue so our side can win. It's like, What the hell are you talking about? Like we go back 5 minutes ago, we were just talking about in 5 billion years this earth.
I wasn't trying to win. I was just saying I didn't agree with you. No, that's the thing.
Exactly. It's like I go back to like the profanity question. It's like, whom do we curse? We curse those whom we love and those we hate. That's often when we use it, because like I know you might not drink or anything, Angel, but it's like if I'm out at like a pub or something like that, and I'm having a few adult beverages and stuff like that, if I'm out there with folks, yeah, we'll curse. Yeah, we'll use dirty language. But you know what? There's no children around or anything. It's like you're not necessarily exposing them to that and everything. And when else do you curse? You curse those whom you have a beef with, whom you have an argument with. It's just very often on the internet, it's not as personalized, especially if you're on like the Twitter or a chat or something like that.
I'll be honest with you. It's like when you hear about all this trolling that's going on, it's great, and everyone's getting slagged off, and everyone's being called this, and everyone's being called that. So Mr. Reality, jump in with a separate name and just monitor the chat and see what these people are doing, because there is a lot of stuff in the streams that I watch, Mr. Ogre on a Monday and Wednesdays and Fridays. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that I really think you could, I don't want to, but you know, you could benefit from by looking at these people and say, well, look at these guys, they're throwing all these names at each other and they're doing all, but it's jest and it's love. I love memes, and I'll say it to you every time. I've said it to you on Mr. Angel Snubnub's channel now, memes, and it will be out there for the world to see. I love you, dude, because your relaxed, laid backness, the way you approach the world, the way that you can just say, well, let's not be mean about this, and let's just look at what it is so we can fix it for everyone. That is why I'm here now talking to you, sir. Mr. Reality.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess it begins with when we have a mutual respect with one another. You have to understand when you, how can I put this? See, some people, you cannot feel, and I think I was saying this to the common sense guy. You know, if I have a stomach ache, and I tell you I have a stomach ache, you want to compare my stomach ache and how I feel with how you dealt with a stomach ache. My stomach ache, you know, what might hurt you, you know, what might be hurting me might not hurt you. And he fails to realize that, you know, our experience, we all deal with things in different ways. You know, there are some poisons that might kill you immediately that might not hurt me at all. Who knows? So, you know, everybody's experience is different, and we want to compare another person's experience with their own. Like every time I brought up something, well, the Chinese do this, and the Japanese do this, and the African, I ain't talking about them people. They are not me. They're not us.
Mr. Reality,
not even similar.
Mr. Reality, what you're saying is that despite everything else, I can never understand your life because I didn't live it. But at the same time, surely you have to ask or think to yourself that you can never understand my life because you've never had to live it.
That's true.
So either of us labeling each other as something, if I label you as this dirty old whatever it is, and you label me this as a supremacist, whatever it is, it's not working for either of us, is it?
No, but look at this.
Like I don't see you as that, and you don't honestly see me as that. That's not who we are.
I just gave a simple example of a car accident. You know, you are involved in a car accident, and you are the one that caused the damage. Matter of fact, that's the reason why it's mandatory in the United States that you have to have car insurance, because you had people that was tearing other people's cars up that made no attempt to fix their vehicle. So now everybody has to have mandatory insurance on their cars so these vehicles can be fixed. Here you are, you have caused severe damage, and the common sense guy just wants to ignore my people being enslaved for 300 years.
That's not true.
No, wait a minute. Hold up.
Carry on.
Let me finish this.
Carry on.
You are ignoring that condition. You are ignoring the fact that my people was not allowed to read and write for 300 years. They didn't even have a God for 200 years. After 200 some years, they was given white Jesus as a God. Their humanity. You cannot make a slave out of a human being. The only way you can make a slave out of a human being, you have to break him down and take his humanity away from him. So you got a group of people that you've made an animal out of. Matter of fact, treated like animals. Matter of fact, my ancestors was made to even eat the food like animals. That's why we eat a lot of food that's associated with the animals, like cornbread and these different beans and peas, because that's the same kind of food that they was giving the animals on the plantation. Here you are, you have a people that you have completely destroyed. And for 300 years. Now, you think just because in 1865 or whatever the hell it was, you do nothing to rehab these people. You do not do nothing to bring the people's humanity back. The only thing they did was, okay, I'll let you go. That's the only thing they done. And you on your own. No, you got to fix what you broke. You done this. And you just want to ignore that you broke this, and now it's up to the people who did not break themselves. You put the responsibility of them fixing themselves on them, and then when you want to make mockery of them because you should be doing this. You should have been. They are broken. You broke them. They cannot walk.
Okay. If I agree with that, then at the same time,
that's the reality.
No. If I agree with that, that's what my people did. At the same time, I have to accept.
That's the problem.
At the same time, I have to accept that is exactly what Islam has been doing for 1,300 years to my people as well.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, okay, so that has nothing to do with it.
Okay, so
speak with people that's bothering you. You need to speak with them. Don't put that on me. I have nothing to do with that. I'm telling you what has happened between me and the American system here. I don't have nothing to do with what Islam done to you. Matter of fact, Islam ain't been all that hot over here either. These people that's brainwashed by a lot of this religion crap, period. I don't like religion at all, period. But anyway, this is between me, this is between us and the system that is here, and they know. That's why they won't allow us to talk in their courts, because they know they don't have nothing to stand on. So they use their own courts, deny us the right to go to court to speak, because they already know it's a winner. They already know the damages. But see, the thing about it
would you like a day off though?
Huh?
In retrospect, because obviously the fight that you're fighting and the fight that I'm fighting and the fight that everyone is fighting is something that you can't turn away from. Would you like a day off though? Would you like 2 hours where on a Wednesday you could come onto a chat and just talk about crazy stuff? What's the craziest stuff? Do you, Mr. Reality, do you ever wonder how far the universe expands out?
Yeah.
How we can fix humanity? That's Wednesdays. Yeah. That's Wednesdays for Mr. CSJ.
I was a nerd. So I was offered to, superheroes is science fiction. That's
yeah. But we should still run through the theories of what they could achieve and the abilities of what we could be. They are, and like you said, it's nonsense, but it's still good to walk through the discussion table if that's something that makes sense.
Sometimes it's good for folks to just argue about things that may not be consequential, like whether pineapple should be on pizza.
Just get away from pineapple on pizza.
Rocks. Oh no, I have to disagree with you, man. Pineapple is a welcome.
I'm gonna pop away from.
I want to be inclusive here.
Yeah, but I don't have no problem if I get the time and I'm in the right area. I have no problem, joining that conversation. Like I said, I'm subscribed to Olga and the Common Sense guys. So if I have the time and I see a live stream going, I have I'll put my little 2 cents in. When I get the time, my job, what I do is I be so tired. I just can't do too much except on the weekends. It's just.
I hear you, man. Hey, we all got to take care of ourselves, and hopefully, if we got any extra strength at the end of the day, we could help one another a little bit. That'd be pretty nice. And it's just, I think one of the problems that we end up having is kind of like Maz was talking about this a little bit, and you touched upon it a little bit earlier. It's just. That's why my number 6 universal truth is our minds tend towards the worst place. Very often when we see a comet or something like that, it's just our mind it usually will go to a very dark place. It's like, well, what you mean by that? Well, what's going on with this and stuff like that? And we sometimes we assume the worst in people that we don't even know, just because it's in our human nature. Because that's our instinct to survive. It's like, it could be a threat. If this is a threat, we start getting pumped up. Your heart starts beating, everything. We start getting tense and everything. So we might respond differently than when you see a person a person that you've known for your entire life. If you see the person you know that
they probably ain't going to be a threat to you or anything. So you're more calm, you're more cool, you're more collected and everything. So it's just like, it's one of those things. I learned it a while ago. It's just because, like, I have a lot of friends that have really bad road rage. Like, one of these guys, he happened to be in the military. He's going up. He's like a captain now in the Air Force, and he's doing very well for himself. One of the calmest cats you'd ever meet, dude. If there's any traffic or anything, this man would become the most rageful beast you had ever met. And as soon as he gets out of traffic, gets out of the car, it's perfectly fine. And it always boggled my mind. But it's just like,
it sounds like my wife, my other half, Mr. Memes.
Well, that's road rage. I think many of us here, or probably most of us, we all kind of know somebody like that. And I worry and I wonder about that. And then I realized, like, what happens if that person's mother just passed away? Right. Or what happens if that person happened to have the worst day of their life and they snap at me or something? It's like, I don't know what's been going on in their life. Like, if something terrible has happened, and very often that's the case, because it's like we are more similar than we are different, but we each have our own unique life experience. And like, my core, my keystone to how I look at things is, I believe most folks are good people. If that's wrong, everything I say, everything I believe doesn't make any sense. But it's just, even though most folks are good people, it's just, we all do stupid, pardon my French, shit.
I want to add to that. Can you imagine a police officer that has just had to kick a door in under fire and all that kind of aggravation, and as he's walked out at the end of that experience, you say to him, Mr. Officer, can you direct me to this street? Dude, what's that person going through? And come on. And you won't know that, will you? You won't know that that person's in that situation. You won't know that that person's just cleared 5 rooms and had to shoot someone and is now having to fill in forms. You won't know that. And you'll go, oh, police officer, dude, where's this house? And he's like, give these people a bit of a break.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think one of the things that we also, like, it touched on a little bit is, we were talking about, like, the whole, like, oh, I need all these cars, I need all this, I need all that. It's just, we kind of get into the whole, like, capitalism versus communism, or whatever spectrum.
Well, I'm telling you, I will keep spouting this off. Sorry for cutting in, sorry for sounding louder, but I will keep spouting this off. We are all just parrots of what our parents teach us. Our parents tell us this, our parents tell us that, and we spout it out. And then in a societal manner, we learn the differences. Well, my parent told me to say this, but it doesn't work in this situation. It's just, none of us are amazingly clever. We're just repeating what we've been taught. And that,
that's true.
I don't know how to say it.
It's not only our parents, but it's society, and it's also the educational system wherever we grow up at. It influences us also. So it's just not. It's just not.
Mr. Reality, can I ask you? Is there a position you've ever been in your life where you were not able to get that education? Because you're a smart dude, obviously, and I know that. And I'm thinking, well, where did you get your education from if you never had that opportunity?
Well, I grew up in the American public school system, and I only have the highest level I attained was a high school diploma. I have did a little bit of, like, some of the technical school stuff. I went to school to be like to study electricity and stuff like that, and I did take a few college courses when I was in New York.
Yeah, I'll be honest and quickly say that me personally, I didn't do well at school because I wasn't interested enough, and everything I feel I've learned has been after school.
Yeah, me too. Most of my like I said, tell my audience all the time, I was introduced to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad at an early age, and I was just an avid reader anyway. So I was reading the hell out of comic books. So I just read anything. I was just an avid reader. Just read. I was reading anything. And when you was talking about the science thing, talking about, you know, the solar system and the exploding the planet. I'm familiar with that also because I kept up with that type of information when I was younger. I was reading all those Science Digest books. Because, see, I know that there's a lot of inventions that's out there. I remember back in the 70s, you know, they actually, those flying saucer type vehicles, they actually, I'm pretty sure they could be on the market right now. They could be on the market because they had prototypes back in the 70s of this little flying saucer thing I remember in the Science magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Wasn't it something? I remember it was back when like we still had like the black and white TV. What was it? They were supposed to like make like a flying car, something like a car that like could also like fly. And I thought there was like some political scandal or something where they wanted to get to be the price of an average car, which I think back then was like $750. And somebody managed to do it, but the problem was they landed on, I think, Pennsylvania Avenue. They landed like right in front of the White House. They didn't have a permit. People freaked out and like they scrapped the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't know about all that.
I heard a story like that. I'm not sure. Maybe the numbers are off. Maybe my years are off. But I remember there was something like that. Like you were saying, dude. Like it was before. Like what you're talking about, I believe, came after and everything. But I'm just like, wait a second. If that's what folks were just, if all of a sudden they scrapped that because they're like, all right, we don't want folks flying. Maybe that was a good idea. I don't know.
Well,
but it's just
have these. You got these oil companies. I mean, if you got flying vehicles like that and they don't require oil. So what you gonna do with all this oil and you're making all your money and billions of dollars of refining oil? That's the thing. You have these lobbyists and these people, these oil companies that lobby and control the government. They don't want nothing like this on the market. What I'm gonna do with all this oil I invested?
Wait a second. You're not saying they'd want us to sit in traffic for 2 hours, are you?
Yeah, why not?
But that would just be making them more money. That wouldn't be cool for us though if we had the ability to do something better.
Right, that's what it's about.
I don't think that's cool.
It's not about us. It's about this particular group of folks. We want our money. We want to do just like I said earlier in the conversation. You got a certain group of people. If they could buy the earth, that's what they would do, and they kick us off. You can get off my earth. You know,
could I just interject and make a little joke?
Yeah.
And you don't have to, Mr. Reality, if you don't want to. But at this point, when we're moving into what's really happening, what's not really happening, I would massively, and memes will understand this, I would massively appreciate it. And because you know Mr. Ogre, and he watches all the streams, and he watches all back, and could you just look at your screen, point your finger forward, and say, flat Earth theory is bull something, and you can add that. Did you understand? Yeah, just look at your screen, put your eyes right on that screen, and say, Mr. Ogre, flat Earth theory is whatever word you want to add onto that, Mr. Reality.
Mr. Ogre, let me tell you something, Mike. That flat Earth crap is crap. All right.
Yeah.
Right,
Fuck you.
Well, we've triggered Mr. Ogre now.
Yeah.
I can debunk it very easily. You know what?
Hold that thought. That's a conversation that you and Mr. Ogre are going to have between you.
I got a video on that.
Yeah, sir. I massively appreciate you, but that I don't know. You have to have that conversation with Mr. Ogre.
I'm not going to lie. Moz brings up a good point. I think I would actually pay to see that debate between you and Mr. Ogre.
Yes, sir. Set that up.
It's very simple. I mean, good Lord. I mean,
he is the ogre. He gets really angry. He sounds really angry like you do, but neither of you are. You're both sensible gentlemen. And I love you both.
Yeah, you know, because I do that. I mean, I just talk loud. That's just the way that I come up. I just talk. I come from all my people in my
passionate.
Hey, Angel, have you ever had folks like basically tell you just you don't need to yell?
I have had loud talkers tell me you talking too loud.
The same thing.
Memes. If someone says to me, "You don't need to yell," I say to them, "You don't need to be stupid."
Well, that's a little. You're probably a little tipsy then.
Also, the hypocritical part of it, when you saying something that they like, you're teaching and you're preaching. When you said something,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
when you said something they don't like, why are you screaming like that? Won't you stop?
Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's like you can go around and tell folks anything they want to hear. That's easy. But to tell folks something they need to hear, that is difficult and everything. And like even like with my sales background stuff, I'll be straight up, man. Was I always as straight as I should have been with folks? No, I'm not proud of that. But you know what? When I actually learned my shit, when I actually got good and everything, I could like overcome like a customer's objection. And like a lot of times I just look them dead in the eye and say, and when I was telling them the truth, I'd just be like, listen, I could sit here and tell you anything you want to hear, but I'm telling you what you need to hear. And the sheer fact that I was straight with folks, it's just like, it didn't matter. Most folks at the time, they're like, you know what? At least you're being straight with me. And there's something that people appreciate about folks
what
being
Mr. Memes is trying to say now is the honesty of why me as a random person is sitting here now talking to the both of you is because I found that stream. I followed the Britisher. He led me to Ogre. Ogre led me to CSG. CSG led me to chat. And these are just open and honest people. You'll learn to know who they are, Mr. Reality. And they are just honest, opening, questioning people. That's all I can say. Start watching their Wednesdays. You'll see the madness and you'll realize where you can jump in. Do what you want.
What I have noticed, as far as the average person in the street, I don't think that's the real problem. Because I talked to many persons, out in the streets, and we have good conversation. But the ones who can actually, in seats of power with the influence, they are the ones that you got a problem with, because they don't want to change. They like the way things are, really. They don't want to change nothing. They like it when
did you ever worry? Because I did. I went through this long period of time where I was thinking to myself, well, me as a person, I'm asking questions and I'm wondering things, but the results I'm getting, are they blocked by the truth? If I ask, should I turn left? Then the people who want me to turn left are going, yes, turn left. But the people who think that turning right is better for me, should I listen to them more? Should I pull back? I honestly think you should listen to everyone. Listen to everyone. Take everyone's opinion in, and then figure it out for yourself. Right.
I agree with that 100%. That's what I do all the time. That's why I think the way that I think, because there's a thing. And I want to go ahead and bring this to conclusion, because really I'm really tired. I'm getting ready to
That's
fall.
fine. It's fine.
But see, I tell people all the time. See, I was raised with the Atlantic slave trade. I was raised with the Kunta Kinte story and the black folks in Africa. And when I first heard this thing that, y'all black folks, you're really the Native American people here. When I first heard that, my reaction was the same, just like most of these people. When they first hear it, you just ashamed of being an African, and you ashamed to be black and all this kind of. I said the same stuff, but the thing about it, just like we having this conversation today, and even the conversation I had with the common sense guy, don't think that I stopped thinking about it. I'm always constantly thinking about this information, constantly thinking about it all the time. I'm always analyzing back and forth, and then one day something in my mind said, they got a point. Then I began to just start messing with it. And I'm like, they got a point here. And the more I start looking at that story, I'm like, well, I said, I can't support this story no more. It's too many questions, it's too many holes. And right now, to this day, you have these people, they get really, really angry at me. You're an African. I said, no. And I asked them to prove it and bring that information. They can't do it because it's questionable. Why do I have to believe I'm an African? First of all, African is a general term. There are 52 nations, over 50 nations in Africa. Which one I'm supposed to be? Who are you talking about? They never specific. They never specific about this. And if you are connected to somebody, you should know your connection. How are we connected to them? Show it to me. I have not seen this connection to these people. So
yeah, I'd like to ask quickly, as I'm guessing the only English person in this conversation, and you're both American. What does African American mean?
I don't know.
Because to me, if I'm in any situation whatsoever, and I see an American, I know what that means.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure what an African American means.
You know, Africa is a continent. You have to break it down to what people are you talking about. You cannot be an African American. You can't be a continent. American is a continent, and African is you two continents. What people are you? See, that's my problem. I keep asking these folks, who are you talking about? And above all, they're not making no claim to you. How come they're not making no claim to you? I don't see none of these African nations, these people on our continent, running around, give me my people back. I don't hear them saying nothing. They're quiet. They're not doing no big rush. So my thing is, we've become a people unto ourselves, and we have expressed that. We've actually started trying to build our own language. We have our own little culture. We have our own way of doing things. We are our own people that was created on this law.
Sounds like apartheid.
Yeah. So, you know, but anyway, to make a long story short, matter of fact, even the fact that I don't believe or advocate God and spirituality, that's because, and that kicked off a long time ago when I was reading the autobiography of Bruce Lee, and somebody was asking Bruce Lee in that autobiography, do you believe in God? And Bruce Lee said, when God can do these push-ups and running, that's when I believe in God. I never heard nobody talk like that before, because I was raised up on a belief in God. I'm like, what this man talking about? But that always stayed in my mind. And I also, when I was a Muslim, I ran into
Bruce Lee believed in self.
Yeah.
And that's who you could improve yourself as. And that's why I enjoy listening to you.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to believe in God, believe in the God in yourself. Plus God, plus even in the religion, God tell you that you're a child of God. So you are God yourself.
We are all made in the image of God. And when God made the earth, it was good. Yeah. My big thing is, if we're all made in the image of God, are we making this earth good?
If we all made in the image of God, how come all of us look so different and do so many damn different things?
Because we're each a fraction of God. Because remember, back in the day, all folks were of the same nation. We built the Tower of Babel. We built and reached for the heavens, but I think we did it way too soon. We all spoke the same language. The tower came crashing down, and then folks spread off across the earth. And then
we didn't spread memes. We was cast off upon the earth. Language was, we don't want these people conspiring. They can all
well, my number one universal truth is people ruin everything, but I still believe most folks are good people.
I still want to see that list, Mr. Memes.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yes, because it has been so fantastic.
Yeah, we need a rep. It's been great.
It's going to be my new Bible.
Well, with that said, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I got to get the hell out of Dodge City.
Sir, Mr. Reality, whatever I call you or not, sir, it's been a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I hope at some stage that you can find yourself onto a Wednesday in just the chat where you can just add comments, ask questions, but be anonymous and just realize who those people are. So, yeah, it's been an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
But you still didn't explain the poster. It looks good.
That's that group called Bold.
In my culture, I don't know them, but I would really like to know them.
Well, they're not all over the world. They used to be really, really hot in the 1990s. They had a song called "Free Your Mind," and
honestly, if it's music, it doesn't apply to me because in my lifetime, I've don't do music. Hotel California, the Eagles, that kind of white stuff. right. So,
but anyway, that's a group in vogue, and I went to see him early this year, and I sort of got a crush on this one right here, and I had a chance to kiss her hand and everything.
All of them for me, sir. All of them. Crush only on one of them.
And it was a security guard. This is what the poster from the hotel they was in. And the security guard was able to get it for me.
Yes, I much hope to see you in the future, or at least to see some comments in chat from you.
That's possible. That's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I have no problem with that.
It's been great. It's been great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mims. Thank you, Moz.
Memes and Moz.
Memes and Moz. Thank you for everybody that's in the chat room or was in the chat room, and all of you who will be coming by later. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Memorial Day holiday, and I'll see you when we see each other again. I hope everything will be all right. Peace to you and yours. And like my soul brother Don Cornelius always used to say, until next time, y'all, as in parting, I wish us love, peace, and soul.